And then, okay. And I'm going to also now share my screen. And then Jeanette, I haven't forgotten you, so I'm going to come back to you. So let me first share my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Well, it's black, but yes.
Yeah,
There
it
it
is.
Black?
Right.
Got it.
Now I can see it.
Still black?
No. It's visible now.
Oh, now it's visible. Okay, great. Okay, so let's go to Jeanette and then I will explain what all this is about. Okay, Jeanette, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I've lived in San Carlos for 35 years. I'm on Greenwood near Burton Park. And I've seen this town go through lots of changes. When I first moved here, I don't even think there was a restaurant on Laurel. So I've seen lots of changes. From what I've seen so far, I'm not an advocate of the water feature as well. I think we're gonna have another drought, and I just don't see kids should be in bathing suits and then going into a store. So it just doesn't work for me. It seems like it's more dedicated toward restaurants, and I feel sorry for the businesses that are nearby. I think they're kind of getting lost. So that's just my feedback so far.
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you. And we are actually going to come, to this feedback section very specifically, and we'll go one by one. But I am noting down your feedback for sure, since we started there. So what we are going to do is, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so that all of you can see, what we have here right now. We want to get your feedback, just like how Jeanette started to give her feedback on the design, on the concepts, various features of the design or the overall concept or any other ideas that you may have. What are which of these programs or ideas resonate with you, or which of these don't really resonate that much, or if you have any additional ideas that we should be considering, we want to note that. And then we also have the design, the concept for the 600 block. And then we would like to get, some feedback on these potential circulation scenarios. Now, we totally recognize this is a lot to cover in, we have about 35 minutes to go through all of these things. So let's get started and let's see, how we are doing. I don't want to rush anybody through the content just for the sake of it. So if there are particular things that we want to, just focus on, that's fine too. At the end of the breakout, when we come out of the breakout session, there will be a report back. So if you all can start thinking about, who would like to represent the group and sort of summarize key takeaways in 2 minutes, that would be great. So, we will take a couple minutes before we are kicked out of the breakout room to just, as a group, summarize what we have discussed, okay? So I'm going to zoom in and we're going to look at, is this visible and legible to all of you? Do you want me to zoom in a little bit more?
I say zoom in.
What do you want us to look at?
This diagram.
Yeah, okay.
And then I will also pan so that you can take a look at some of these images. Do any of these images, strike a chord, that kind of stuff. .
As we were going through the presentation, I liked the second. I think it was called the garden. You know, the promenade is kind of very symmetrical and straight down. The garden looked kind of more interesting to me, and I don't know why. I kind of liked where the stage was set a little better. The stage being towards El Camino didn't seem quite right. So.
Okay.
I've seen Boulder. I've seen Burlingame. It's kind of hard. I feel like it's kind of hard to process. It's kind of hard to visualize it. And it is a lot of information. I think that your traffic design, like the one that said possible Holly Street one way and San Carlos, I think those are going to be huge, right? Not that downtown isn't huge, but I feel like, wow, you start messing with the traffic. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just think that that is something people will have an opinion about.
The circulation scenarios.
Yeah, I think so, right? I maybe not. I don't know, but I think that would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Anytime there's a change to the circulation pattern, it's going to be a little tough to sort of think about it. But if you think about the 700 block, which used to not be a closed off block, and there was a certain way in which the traffic was moving and everybody was used to that. When that block closure happened, everyone kind of had to adjust to this new pattern of moving through downtown. Oh, bye, Amy.
So,
And so I guess I'm just using that as an example because, and you're right, I'm not saying like it's not going to be a big change, and certainly there will be concerns, but I think what we are trying to understand is, as there is a vision for creating a pedestrian-friendly downtown, there are many different things have to sort of work together in tandem and like a system to be able to create that experience where people feel safe enough to walk around, but they can also use different modes of transport. They can choose to drive around and drive to and through downtown. They can choose to bike or they can choose to walk. And so, if we have to create that opportunity for all types of mobility and access, then and if we want, a certain look and feel of the downtown, then what are the other considerations we need to make?
I have a question. What do we know about how people get to downtown now? I know there have been surveys. What percentage of people are walking? What percentage of people are biking? What percentage of people are driving? And also part two of that is how much are like people from the local area versus people who are driving in from, on 101 or 280 or, coming in from outside?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we do have that data. Actually, we did not share all of that data today because so much to go through, but we are planning to post that information on the project website. So that will be available with, bar charts to show the percentage of, and I don't remember all the percentage of the mode distribution, but what we have definitely seen is that, obviously since 2010 through 2022, we are seeing a higher percentage of work from home, which is not surprising because COVID sort of made us change our work patterns and the commute patterns, right? But the biking percentage and the bike, pedestrian, and vehicular distribution has not significantly changed. And in relation to each other, certainly the automobile traffic is higher percentage compared to bike and ped. Mm-hmm. But if you, I don't know if you're aware, there is as part of the downtown specific plan study, there is going to be, or simultaneously, there is a traffic study that is being conducted as well as a parking management study. So the traffic study, the existing conditions report has has been completed, and that will also get uploaded. So, some of the percentages and the numbers and the quantitative information will be available through that as well.
Okay, and I just quick follow up. The reason I ask is because it seems like it's good, should really we think about who you're optimizing for here, and like how big do spaces need to be. You look at the plaza, and that can accommodate a lot of people at one time, wider streets, more people walking through, versus my preference is for something with lots of trees, lots of shade, cozier feel. And that feels more local in, I don't know, we're is it trying to be like a destination spot, like Palo Alto, bringing in people from all over? Or is this San Carlos feeling like San Carlos rather than a kind of destination that people drive to?
And I think you are asking a very good question about, what does this place want to be? Does this want to be a destination like Palo Alto, or does it want to be more local? And I actually invite all of you in this group to share your thoughts, because it can be anything that the community wants. It can be, if the community strongly feels that this needs to be a very local destination just for San Carlos and maybe a couple other neighboring communities, sure. And I think what that means is answering that question actually is really important, because that is going to also determine the direction for what type of businesses does the city want to attract. What type of businesses do we want to encourage and promote in this downtown for the needs that we are trying to fulfill. So does anyone else have any thoughts? If all of you don't mind, can I ask you to turn your videos on? It's a little, I feel like
I'm sorry, I'm not in a place
black box.
I'm not in a place to turn the video on, and I apologize.
Poonam,
I want to say
I
I
to the
agree.
room and I'm taking notes for you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
You're doing a lot of talking. I hate for you to do all the things. So yeah.
But I want to say I agree, or we were asking the question, but what Jennifer brought up, I would support more like you said, for a local place. And, that's one reason we all love San Carlos, I think, it feels like a small, we have hometown days. It feels like it doesn't feel like you're on the peninsula. It doesn't feel like any of the other towns. And that's what's nice about it. So if, there's a way to kind of maintain that character. And just going back to the traffic thing, once again, this is all new to me. I'm absorbing it, but and of course I don't live on those streets, but the Holly San Carlos one-way thing, like that one made a lot of sense to me. It feels like, gosh, that could, make the traffic flow a lot better. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but that was my impression there.
I think your question really hits home, because what do we want San Carlos to be? And I think most people will say, well, we want it to be, little San Carlos. But the truth is, I can't imagine that we're filling those restaurants with just San Carlos people. I could be wrong, but I just cannot imagine that that's the case. The reason that we have a restaurant district is because we're drawing from Redwood Shores, Belmont, Redwood City, and I don't know in what percentages. And you go downtown at any time of day, after parents have dropped off their kids, middle of the morning, noon, middle of the afternoon, you have different groups down there. And so I don't think there's any way that we can say, oh, we want this little San Carlos that's all by itself. We've already made that choice, that we're going to be a hybrid. We want our hometown days, and we have maybe our farmers market, and stuff like that, where you can see people, but we are integrated somewhat. Maybe we don't want to be Palo Alto, but we're not San Bruno or we're not Belmont, right? Belmont doesn't have a district. The other thing I was going to say was, what was it? Well, anyway, I think that's actually sort of really hits the nail on it. Oh yeah, I know. I was going to ask, you probably don't know, but I heard these comments about the stores down there. And I really sympathize with the stores. You know, you block off the street on one block and you heard some stores on that block maybe, and then the next block, you know, they're fine. And we don't necessarily want to have just nothing but restaurants. We want to have stores too. But it's sort of hard for me to imagine Didham's not being downtown, or the Olive, whatever it is, you know, the Olive place that has the oil, you know, and it's hard for me to imagine that not being on San Carlos Avenue. Like I can't picture myself driving to a place just to go pick up what they have. But if I'm walking downtown, I see it. On the other hand, I go to Carlmont Shopping Center a lot, and I can't imagine, you know, wanting to go to Ace Hardware if it was downtown, or going to the liquor store that's over there is downtown. It's sort of, I have in my mind, I go to Lenardi's and I go pick up these other things. So it's a little hard to kind of visualize that, but I'm kind of wondering, you know, the stores that are complaining, if there's, you know, are they kind of the new trendy stores, or the old stores, are all the above? Is there, you know, is there any kind of thing to that? Because some of those stores, they simply won't be there someday. And is there, you know, or does it hurt them uniformly? I'm just kind of curious. You probably don't know, but I don't know.
Well, there has been some study as part of the existing conditions analysis, you know, in a certain amount of granularity that we have, that our economics team has been able to get to. So what we have heard, the restaurants certainly love the closure or the option, you know, because, you know, people like to sit outside, and, you know, it just creates more opportunity for outdoor seating.
Well, they
But
can sell a lot more meals.
right,
On a warm day, that's a lot more tables
yeah.
that they can serve, you know.
Yeah, and currently what they're seeing is what we're, you know, what's in place is a lot of these parklets that basically serve the purpose of the outdoor seating. But we have to remember that the parklets are a solution to an existing condition, which is not having sidewalks that are wide enough to accommodate outdoor seating. And therefore, we are taking over parking spots to build parklets. And then the parklets are built in such a way currently that they're blocking visibility to the stores, you know. So if I can say it here, is like we've heard a lot of mixed feelings about the parklets. You know, some people love them for a certain reason, and because it offers outdoor seating, but it absolutely makes sense from the businesses that are getting their visibility is getting obstructed. It's not fair for them. It's really tough for them, right? So we totally understand. But that is why the concepts that we are exploring here, we are looking at, you know, let's not assume that the parklet is a given, because it is not. It did not exist. It is it was a problem solving for existing condition. But if we are going to redesign and re-envision downtown, then we can accommodate all of this exciting programming like outdoor furniture, temporary events, or a permanent event or a permanent stage, without hurting any single business. And to your earlier point, you're right. It's like what we heard during the DTAC was that there are a lot of people that visit the restaurants in the evenings. And one of the groups actually described the, San Carlos downtown as very local during the daytime, but a regional destination after 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m., like after work hours. And that's, I guess, what you're saying, like you use the word hybrid, that kind of, you know, is in the similar vein. Jennifer,
Can I pipe in for just a second? For one thing, totally agree. I wasn't saying San Carlos would just be locals, but you know, locals and surrounding, but also the parklets. You know, like I lived in New York for a while, like in the summer, all the restaurants like spill out onto the street, and the parklets, like they're these walls. So you're walking down them, you have this blocked off street and you're walking down the middle of it, but you know, it's like walls on either side. So I think whatever solution we would have should, like you were saying, I think Poonam will open it up so that it's not like these little boxes that are blocking off the from the pedestrians.
Yeah, yes, yes. We've heard a lot about that. Jennifer, we haven't heard from you, and I wanted to make sure that you have a chance to share your thoughts. And at this point, I'm also zooming out a little bit so that we can keep the second concept, which is what that we're calling as the gardens concept in view as well, so that we can share our thoughts about this one.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. The hybrid concept, just makes so much sense. I mean, that's already what's happening now. And you kind of get the best of both worlds. And I totally agree about the parklets. I mean, while it's lovely to, sit in these, the nice ones, they're all cozy and everything. It's on the whole, it's just not good for the street. It's not good for the other businesses and walls. I mean, that's a great description of it. There's just these sort of walls. So opening up the space, having wider sidewalks, I think that would, be wonderful. And in terms of, these two different concepts, I don't know, I'd have to look at them a little bit more closely, but again, I think the more shade, the more green, the better. As far as the water elements go, it seems like that's sort of, you got a couple issues. You got the whole drought issue, which is significant, but maintenance, whatever gets built is going to have to be maintained. And I think putting our resources into things that will grow rather than things that have to be fixed and repaired is probably, I think more efficient. And then I would love to see performance space. And wouldn't it be great to have music? I mean, I know we're never going to be, we're never going to be New Orleans, right? Like where we've got jazz musicians on every corner. But if we had just a little bit of that, it could just bring so much character and to downtown, and just more performances, places where spontaneous things can happen as well as programmed events. Like you've got the outdoor movies and all of that. But if there's smaller spaces where it does seem welcoming, maybe at night around the restaurants, where people could, just informally perform, I think that would add a lot of richness to the street.
What do you think about, creating that kind of a space in Wheeler Plaza?
Oh, looks like they're going to kick us out of our breakout room.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So who would like to report back?
I nominate you, Lisa.
Nominate me? Oh, Jennifer?
Yeah, Poonam, you can do it. I think you've got a sense of what everybody's been saying.
Do it, but I'm. It should be your guys' voice, and think about it. When the time comes, I think you should. One of you can go, and then I can fill it in. If you're missing something, I can. I think what we heard. In summary, the key takeaways are, the shade and seating, the shade and trees and greenery was a big theme. There was concern around water features for different reasons.